The 60s and 70s, the golden era for American muscle cars. Back then, it was all about raw power, roaring engines and burning rubber. It was a time when every drive felt like a victory lap and horsepower was king. Welcome to World's Coolest Garages by invitation only. I'm Dean Kirkland, and in this episode we got some of the rarest, most iconic muscle cars ever built. We've been granted an all-access pass, and let me tell you, this garage is so exclusive it makes VIP section at Hollywood nightclub look like a public restroom. Our mystery host, who shall remain nameless for a reason that will become crystal clear, has opened the doors to his automotive sanctuary. What's inside? Enough horsepower to make a grown man weep tears of octane joy. Now, you might wonder why our host insists on staying out of the limelight. Well, it's not because he's wanted by the law. No, he's just avoiding the tsunami of fan mail and marriage proposals that would surely flood his doorstep faster than you can say prenuptial agreement. But enough on our enigmatic benefactor. Let's get to the real stars of the show, the cars. We've got a lineup that reads like the greatest hits album of American muscle. First up, we got the 1970 Torino Cobra Jet with 370 horsepower. This baby's got more power than a superhero on a sugar high. And next, we'll check out the matching 1970 Torino Super Cobra Jet. This beast upped the ante with 375 horsepower and Ford's drag pack. Then we're moving on to the legendary 1969 Mustang Boss 429. Built to dominate in NASCAR, this car doesn't just roar, it makes the lion sound like a kitten. And it's got muscle to leave everything else in the dust. We'll look at a 1969 Boss 302. Designed for the Trans Am series, this car is all about speed and precision. And the best part, we're not just going to stand around and drool over these beauties. We're taking them out for a spin. So hang on, kids. You're in for a wild ride through the golden age of American muscle. This is World's Coolest Garages by invitation only. The 1970 Torino Cobra Jet 429. This car is loaded with options. It's like the Swiss Army knife of muscle cars. Air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, auto trans, console, bucket seats. This baby's got more features than a smartphone app. There were only 7,675 Torino Cobras built that year, but this one's got a 429 Cobra Jet engine cranking a hefty 370 horsepower.
The 1970 Torino. It's new, clear through, even to its longer, wider platform. We lengthened the wheelbase, widened the tread, and came up with our biggest platform of any car in its class. So when you drive the 1970 Torino, its wider platform makes it ride smoother and hold the road better. Ford gives you better ideas. It's the going thing.
Our anonymous owner ordered this car brand new in November 1969, and it's been with him ever since. That's right, kids, he's driven this car for over 100,000 miles. This was his first car, his trusty steed during his street racing days as a kid, his ride to school, and later a family car. Imagine your dad pulling up to the school drop-off line in this car. Yeah, that's kind of cool we're talking about. This Torino's got more memories packed into it than a photo album. Racing down the streets, cruising the community, even getting married and letting his wife take the wheel for a while. It was part of the family unit until it was so worn out that it had to be parked. There was a moment when he almost traded it in for an LTD Ford for the family. Oh my gosh. They offered him $1,300. That's like trading in a filet mignon for a can of Spam. He couldn't do it, and thank goodness for that. So instead he parked it in a barn for 25 years, like a muscle car Rip Van Winkle. Fast forward to today, this Torino has been resurrected from its slumber. The restoration is a Cinderella story. New engine, new transmission, suspension, paint, interior, the whole 9 yards. It's practically brand new with just 40 miles since the rebuild. It looks better than a supermodel in a wind tunnel. But unfortunately today, it's unseasonably hot here in the Central Valley, and the Torino's cooling system decided it's time for a siesta. So no test drive for us today, but standing next to the car, you feel the history, the power, and the sheer awesomeness radiating from it. This isn't just a piece of metal, it's a member of the family, the favorite child, a testament to the golden age of muscle. So here we are, kids, admiring a car that's not just a collection of parts, but a collection of memories. This 1970 Torino Cobra Jet, it's got a soul, it's got a story, it's a living, breathing piece of automotive history. The 1970 Torino Super Cobra Jet. 375 horsepower of pure American muscle. Built to dominate the drag strip. Ford only made 241 of these drag pack monsters, making them rarer than a politician with a straightforward answer. Our mystery owner originally wanted this drag pack setup when he ordered his first Torino. But Ford wouldn't build it with air conditioning, and let's face it, living here in the Central Valley without air, it's like being stuck in a sauna while wearing a wool suit. So, he opted for comfort over speed back then. But this car, the Super Cobra Jet, is the dream realized. No AC, all power, and performance that makes you feel alive. This car came out of Indiana and underwent a complete restoration. We're talking about every nut and bolt, every screw. Everything was rebuilt or replaced. It's got a brand new motor and just 75 miles on it since the restoration. It's basically a brand new car with the soul of a vintage racer. The 4-speed manual transmission in this car is what dreams are made of. Our mystery owner finally got to experience the raw, unfiltered thrill of 4-speed Torino, and he's living the dream. There's nothing like gripping that shifter and feeling the raw power under your control. And like I said, it isn't just any Torino, it's one of only 241 drag pack cars built in 1970. A true bucket list item and a piece of history that's an absolute blast to drive. Taking the 1970 Torino Super Cobra Jet out on the road is like unleashing a force of nature. The moment you hit the gas, that 375 horsepower roars to life, and you're pushed back in your seat like you're being launched from a cannon. The handling is tight, hugging every curve with confidence. Each shift of the 4-speed manual transmission, it's like commanding a wild stallion, pure and powerful. You can feel every bit of its heritage and engineering in each turn and every straightaway. Driving the Super Cobra Jet, you understand why this car is so special. It's not just about speed, it's about the connection, thrill, the sheer joy of commanding one of the greats from the golden age of muscle cars. And after experiencing this, anything else would feel like child's play. So there you have it, the 1970 Torino Super Cobra Jet. It's a muscle car icon, a drag strip legend from the days when horsepower was king and every drive felt like an adventure. If you ever get the chance to see one of these in person, take it. Just standing next to this car, you can feel the history, the power, and the excitement. And trust me, driving it, whew, that's a whole other level of awesome. The 1969 Boss 429. Now here's a car that's got more legend than King Arthur's sword. Built for one purpose, to dominate NASCAR. Under that iconic hood lies a 429 cubic inch V8, so powerful it made NASCAR officials break out in a cold sweat. This car wasn't just designed to look good, it was born to race. Our mystery owner snagged this beauty when it was just 2 years old and picking it up from the original owner. Back in the day, Ford had to sell at least 500 of these monsters to the public to get the engine homologated for NASCAR. They ended up building 869 of them, each one a rolling piece of racing history. Ford had to modify the Mustang extensively to fit the engine in there, widening the front end and tweaking the shock towers. This car didn't just roar on the track, it tore up local drag strips too. Our guy raced it at Fresno Dragway and later at Bakersfield for most of the drag strip. This car has seen more quarter miles than a marathon runner. And let's not forget those street races. It was like the Fast and the Furious before Vin Diesel ever shaved his head. Now here's the twist for you. The original owner got so frustrated with blowing engines that he swapped out the Boss 429 for a Thunderbird motor. Our man here saw that Boss engine sitting in the garage and bought it for $300. Talk about a steal. Eventually, he bought the car itself for $1,500, reuniting it with the original engine and turning it into the beast you see today. With its matching numbers engine, this car has a history that's as unique as its owner's journey to restore it. Let's get behind the wheel of this bad boy and see what all the fuss is about. .429 roars to life like a lion waking up from a nap. Hit the gas and you feel that 429 cubic inch V8 rocket you forward. It's like being launched out of a slingshot. Instant adrenaline. This car isn't just fast, It's a force of nature. When Ford had to widen the front end to fit this engine in, boy did it pay off. The handling is surprisingly tight. Every shift of the 4-speed manual is a dance with raw power and precision. Cruising in this thing, you remember what real driving feels like. When muscle cars ruled the earth, every drive felt like a race. So there it is, the Boss 429. A legend on wheels that's as thrilling to drive as it is to look at. And kids, once you've experienced this, your daily driver is going to feel like a tricycle. Driving this Mustang Boss 429, it is an experience, and let me tell you, it's one you'll never forget. When you think of the 1969 Boss 302, you can't help but picture Parnelli Jones going head-to-head with racing legends like George Follmer, Dan Gurney.
The predicted August thunderstorm seems only minutes away as the 35 cars in the starting field roll through the pace lap. Based on a complicated scoring system which awards points for finishing first through sixth, Mustang leads in the standings. In fact, a victory locks up the championship for Ford. To keep its hopes alive, the Javelin team must outpoint Mustang here, the most important race to date in the series. Parnelli Jones stands on it right from the start, sprinting away from the field with Mark Donohue directly behind him. Parnelli usually turns his fastest laps during the early going, spurred on by an empty track in front of him and Mark Donohue in his mirror.
These were built for the Trans Am series, and they duked it out with the Camaros, Challengers, and even AMC Javelins. It was the battle royale of factory hot rods, and the Boss 302 was Ford's answer to the call. Our next gem is the 1969 Boss 302, one of only 628 ever built. Our mystery owner, a die-hard Ford fan, fell in love with these cars when they first hit the streets. It took him some years to finally make that dream a reality, but about 20 years ago, he snagged this beauty and gave it a full restoration. We're talking a ground up, every nut and bolt makeover. The result? A brand new car with just about 60 miles on it since the rebuild. It's been repainted, reupholstered, and revitalized in every way imaginable. And the undercarriage looks as clean as it did the day it left the factory. Now let's talk about that engine, the Boss 302. This isn't your run-of-the-mill 302. It's a 4-bolt main with cannon valves, an aluminum intake, solid lifter cam, and a Holley carb. This engine was built for performance, to be competitive in the Trans Am series. It was designed to show that Ford had the chops to build a high-performance machine that could hold its own against the best of the best. The owner bought this car about 20 years ago, and after a painstaking restoration, it's as good as new. It's a piece of his bucket list, a dream car come to life. Now let's take this Boss 302 out for a spin. Now getting in the driver's seat of this 69 Boss 302, it's like shaking hands with history. The engine roars to life, and you can feel the raw power coursing through the car. Now the first thing that hits you is that sound. That 302 engine, whew, that's music to anyone's ears. A symphony of power and precision. And the handling is tighter than a drum. Every turn, every straightaway, feels like a victory lap. The Boss 302 hits the road with confidence that belies its age. It's clear why this car was a force to be reckoned with in the Trans Am series. It's got that perfect balance of agility, making every drive an absolute thrill. And driving the Boss is like stepping into a time machine set to awesome. The power, the handling, the sheer thrill of being behind the wheel of a Trans Am legend. It's an experience that's hard to put into words. The roar of the engine, the tightness of the steering, the feel of the road beneath you. It all comes together in this Boss 302. Well kids, that wraps it up for this episode of World's Coolest Garages by invitation only. We've had the privilege of getting up close and personal with some of the most iconic muscle cars out there, from the mighty Boss 429 to the fearsome Torino Super Cobra Jet. These cars embody the golden age of American horsepower. Listen kids, we're living in a world where everything's going electric, and our teens are more familiar with a touchscreen than a stick shift. I get the whole saving the planet thing, but sometimes I think we've lost a little bit of our soul in the process. We used to dream about American muscle, roaring engines, laying down rubber, and the smell of burning fuel. Now they're more interested in how many likes their latest post got than how many horsepower the ride has. They can fire off text like it's an Olympic sport with one hand, but can't parallel park with spotters on all four sides. They're getting more and more dependent on self-driving cars. It just makes you want to grab a ball-peen hammer and play whack-a-mole with your Tesla. We need to get back to teaching young people the joy of real driving. The thrill of a V8 roaring to life, the satisfaction of perfectly timed gear shifts, the unadulterated freedom of open road. There's something primal about it, something that can't be replicated by a soulless, silent EV. So here's to the next generation. May they find the same joy and real horsepower that we did. And may they never forget what it feels like to really drive. Because at the end of the day, driving isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about the journey, the thrill, the freedom that only a true muscle car can provide. But hey, that's my 2 cents. Feel free to disagree.